Hey, once again, you found me in the kitchen, folks. Where am I? Every Tuesday night, right here. And listen, last time we met and we chatted and we shared a dinner, I promised you chicken pot pie. So I found you the best chicken pot pie in the world. And I'm gonna make it for you right here. It's called Fabio's Fabulous Chicken Pot Pie. So, do what you always do, grab a libation. Tonight we have a Malbec from Bodega Elena Vineyards. Very nice off-dry wine, perfect with what we're gonna make tonight. So, go strap your feed bag on, get a libation, and join me in about 1 minute, and we'll get started. Cooking with Charles is made possible by the generous donations of Sully's Superette, the Goffstown Network. If you need a helping hand, they're there to lend that helping hand. If you can lend a helping hand, they can use your help. Okay, let's get ready, folks. Thanks for joining us again. Okay, so your Fabio's Fabulous Chicken Pot Pie. I called my friend Fabio Viviani. You may know him as a celebrity chef. I know him as Fab. And I said, hey Fab, what do I do for chicken pot pie? And he said, well, here's what I would do. So he gave me his recipe. And that recipe is all contained right here for the crust. We're gonna do that first. First of all, we have the goods for you right here, right now. We have 1 3/4 cups of flour. We also have 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt. We also have 1/2 cup of cheese. And then we're gonna add a stick and a half of cold butter and a 1/4 cup of ice water. So let's get started. First things first, you're gonna have to get yourself a mixing bowl, or better yet, a food processor. We're gonna take the flour, the cheese, the salt, the sugar, and we're just gonna put that right in there. It smells so good. I already pre-mixed everything for you. And we're just gonna, that's all we're gonna do. We're just gonna give it a little bit of a mix. Then we're gonna take our stick and a half of cold butter. And I say use cold butter because cold butter makes the setup better. So you want to cut your butter into little cubes and then put that right in there. And we're going to do the same thing. Although this is going to take a little bit longer. Okay, when everything is all incorporated, we're now going to take our 1/4 cup of ice water. So I'm going to get this mixed out, measured out right here. And here's where the magic happens, folks. Watch this. We're going to turn this on and it's all going to come together on its own. Ah, look at that, look at that. Ooh, it's going round and round and round. Check it out. And then, voila, look at that. Look at this, huh? Ha ha. Perfect. Give it a little pat. Look at that. Who am I? Betty Crocker? No. I'm the guy Betty Crocker wants to meet because I can make a good dough. And what do we do with this? Well, we are going to wrap this in plastic and we're going to put it in the refrigerator for about 1/2 hour or up to 2 days. So that's ready for you. So if you're sitting around tonight and going, God, that looks really good. I'd love to make some, but you know what? I'm not going to make a chicken pot pie tonight because I have this going on. We can make this on a Monday, use it on a Wednesday, and I'm sure even if we wait till Thursday, it would be fine. So that's done. Now let's get our filling going. We got our oven preheating to 400, And right now we're going to put on a medium-high heat over here. About a quarter cup of olive oil. And we're going to cut up a potato. Nothing too involved here, guys. We're just going to dice it up into about 1/3 inch cubes. Remember, the smaller cubes, the quicker it cooks, but we don't want to cook too fast. It'll get too mushy. And this chicken pot pie, folks, I want you to realize one thing. It is not the pot pie you buy in the stores because it's preservative free. No filler, no artificial flavoring, no preservatives. It's really good for you. So, Callender, guess what? You might be out of a job. And it's actually really easy to make. So that oil is going to heat up. And we are going to put those in there. We're going to let those cook for a little bit. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. And we're doing this first, potatoes, because they take the absolute longest to cook. So with that being said, let me get myself a little bit of room here. And I just don't know where I'm going to put anything anymore. All right, like I said, we have a nice red wine tonight. Those of you that are fans of the show will know it's a little different. We usually go with a Gallo and a Tisdale, both a Gallo product. But this was recommended to me by my good friend Sarah Madtall and her husband. My wife and I went to their house, and well, she was serving that, and it's actually a really great, inexpensive table wine. Great for every night of the week and even entertaining. If you like a dry, robust wine, this will do it for you without breaking the bank. All right, what else do we have going on here? It's taking a little longer to heat up than I thought. So we're just going to turn that to high. And yes, as you heard me mention earlier, I stole this recipe. I stole most recipes. And you know what? You're stealing my recipe too by watching this and cooking this for your loved ones tonight. So, yes, Fabio Viviani, great chef. He owns a few restaurants out in California. He's an Italian chef. He's won Top Chef or was a runner-up, but he has a great thing on Yahoo. He does a great segment on Yahoo every week called Chow Chow. And I took this from that and I tried it last night and it was wonderful. My family loved it. So it's going to become a new staple in our house for the winter months. And when you try it, it will too for you. All right. That is coming along nicely. So we're going to get ready with our next batch of ingredients, which, like all the flour and stuff that I pre-portioned, I also pre-cut this. What we have here is we got about a cup of onions, diced, a cup of celery, diced, and a cup of carrots, diced. You can do whatever you want for vegetables. I'm choosing this because, it's like a Mrs. Bud's fancy vegetable chicken pot pie. One thing it doesn't have is peas and broccoli because my family doesn't like broccoli or peas. So I'm not putting them in my food lately. But you can do whatever you want in your kitchen and on your cooking show when you have it. Oh, man, this. All right, guys. Got these cooking slightly now. I'm going to add those. And I'm going to add a little more salt. And a little more pepper. Because every time I add an ingredient, I want to add a little bit of seasoning to it. So don't throw all your salt in at once or all in the end. Do it gently as you're cooking. Oh, man, this is jumping out everywhere. But it's good. All right. And here's the best part. Once you incorporate everything, that's it. We just let it sit. And we can get ready with the next phase, which is our dough. We're going to let that sit out for a few minutes, get a little warmer, because mine has been sitting in the refrigerator overnight. The one I just made, I'm going to bring home. I'll use that for something else throughout the week. But the one for the show, it's cooled off. So, let it out for just a few minutes. And the reason we like things cold is it sets up better, and it makes it easier to work with. So the cold butter and the cold water, that brings everything together and stabilizes it so it doesn't fall apart. And as I said, this is chicken pot pie. Hey, look what I have right here. I got about a chicken breast and a half, already diced up into nice little dices here. They're about 3/4 of an inch. Again, this is something you can do ahead of time. You can actually cook all this stuff. Like, you can keep this for 2 days, even 3. You could cook this stuff up tonight, or leftovers if you have them going on. And save it for another day or 2, or 3 or 4, however long it'll last in your refrigerator, and make this later on in the week. Look at this, beautiful. All right, so I'll tell you what, guys, we're gonna take a quick break right now, because this is gonna take a few minutes to cook, and I know you got better things to do, like get yourself another drink, and well, I do too. So when you come back, we're gonna put the chicken in, we're gonna get that to where we need to add some more stuff, and we'll start the magic, all right? So come back in about 1 minute, we'll have stuff ready for you to go. Hi, I'm Charles Minnick, host of GTV's smash hit, Cooking with Charles. I've teamed up with the Goffstown Network to tell you about their outreach and food pantry programs. The mission of the Goffstown Network is to provide for the hunger-related needs of our neighbors in Goffstown and the surrounding communities. Founded with the governing principles that no person should go hungry and every person deserves our care. The Goffstown Network serves the area by providing food and other services on an emergency short-term basis. This spirit of community and mutual caring is extended to anyone in Goffstown, Dunbarton, and New Boston. Normal hours of operation are Wednesday evenings, 6 to 8 p.m., and Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. to noon. Now, you can also assist them through donations of time, food, or money. Like the help they give, the help they receive is also greatly appreciated. You can reach them by calling the number on your screen or by stopping by the Parish House of St. Matthew's Church. It's located in downtown Goffstown at 7 North Mass Street, right across from Sully's. Okay, welcome back, everybody. What I'm doing now is I'm adding a little bit of flour to this. Actually, I'm adding a lot of flour to this. Just going to coat everything in here. For the ingredients that I have in here and the amount, remember we got about a cup of onions, cup of celery, cup of carrots, about 1.5 pounds of chicken. I'm doing approximately 3/4 of a cup of flour. And what I've been doing is I've been stirring it in 1/4 cup at a time, make sure everything gets coated. And I could also use a bigger pan for this, but the pan I use at home before I came to the show doing this is like, oh, I can get away with this. This is a better looking pan, but yeah, always go with a big pan, folks. Don't do what I do and try to economize space over here. So what we're gonna do is gonna let this sit. We got our vegetables soft, onions were just caramelizing. Potatoes were browning. Then we added our chicken while you were gone. And the chicken, we pretty much just added a little bit of oil. We cooked it. We stirred it around, let it cook, stirred it around some more until just the outsides got white. And you know what I'm talking about. And then we added the flour. And we're gonna let that cook like we're doing right now. It's gonna give a nice nutty flavor. Love the smell of cooked flour. It smells hearty. And then we're gonna take some chicken broth. Use whatever kind you want, low sodium, high sodium, whatever you want. We're gonna pour some in there. Good stuff in here. Soldier jumping out. And we're just gonna let this simmer. And the amount of chicken stock you use, that's gonna depend on how thick you want your pot pie. I want mine thick, but I don't want it too thick, like it's like porridge or oatmeal. But I also don't want it to be like water. So we're gonna turn this down to a simmer because everything's really hot now. And we're just gonna let this sit for just a few moments because, that's a nice consistency. I'm gonna wait to hold off anymore in case I have to add just a little bit more. I'm gonna turn that way down. And notice I'm stirring constantly during this time right now because I wanna make sure that every bit of flour gets absorbed and dissolved by that chicken stock. All right. Also because I'm turning it down because I have to devote my attention to this, not the wine. But my dough, I put some flour down and that's it. Now we're just gonna roll this out. Now you could get yourself a pre-made pie crust. And you can do that, but really, how easy was this to make? If you have a food processor, if you have, a mixer, because this would take a long time if you didn't stirring, unless you've got like Popeye forearms, use the tools you have or buy pre-made. But you know what? This will also be preservative free. Can't say GMO free, but it's preservative free. Also, in doing this endeavor, you ever notice they have bakers use just a long dowel? They don't use a lot of these. The handles on it, it's just a long piece. I know why now, because this is only going to get as wide as this. And I would love it much wider, but beggars can't be choosers. All right, taking this right here, a crock. You don't have to use a crock. I'm doing mine individual servings. What you can do too is a casserole dish. Whatever it is, you just want to make sure that you cut it out about 1.5 inches bigger than the outside of what you're putting it into. And when you get really good, you won't have to watch what you're doing like I have to because I'm not really good yet. Now remember, folks, right now, the entire time we've had our oven preheating to 400 degrees. You can go 350, 400, either or. It doesn't, at that range, it's all the same. All right, now I have one more bowl. So all I gotta do is take this, reknead it, get it into some shape of a ball, put that right back down, We'll just roll it out again. And like our dice, you want this to be about 1/3 of an inch. Not a perfect circle, but oh well. All right, and we have extra because this is enough to actually make 5 or 6 of these. I only have 4 in my set, so. All right, so what's next? Well, let's get ourselves a little room here, and let's get ourselves a baking dish of some sort. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to put parchment paper on it. Use foil or parchment paper, but make sure it comes up the sides. Why? Because when you put this in the oven, it's going to bubble over, and you got a mess on your hands. So, let's see how thick this is. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. All right, well, I think what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to add a little more chicken stock to this. Fold that in. Going to add a little more because you never want to do it all at once because you can't take out. But you can keep putting in. It's like getting a haircut. As I said, you can make this with steak. You can make this with pork. You don't have to use chicken. And you could add a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, bowl 1. We're filling it. Ooh, that's hot. About 3/4 of the way up. Bowl 2. Same thing. You know what? You folks don't have to watch me fill these, but what is important, you got to watch me put these on. So, because this is very important, you're going to place it over the top. Push down in the center. There you go. Let me get a close-up over here of what it should look like. See that? Just like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to make a few little slits. Why? Well, if you don't make a few little slits, what you're going to have is very, very soggy dough on top. We want this to crisp up, be flaky and tender, but we don't want it soggy. So we have to let the steam escape. So a little slit is all you need. You also need an egg wash. And what is an egg wash? It's nothing more than a couple of eggs that you have in a bowl with just a touch of water. I would even add just a touch of salt. And because I'm me and it's my show, I put pepper in mine. That's right, pepper. And all we're going to do is that. And then you just take this with a brush and you brush it on. You can be very liberal with this too. All right, folks, what I'm going to do when I'm done with this, I'm going to get the other two set up. We are going to put these in the oven for about ½ an hour. Depending on your oven, could be up to 40 minutes, but really I think ½ an hour is all you need, 400 degrees on a lined pan. And when you come back, well, guess what? we're going to have some Fabio's fabulous chicken pot pie. So come right back, folks. You know what I'm looking at? I'm looking at dinner, folks. Check it out. We finish these off in the oven at about 375 to 400 degrees for about a half hour. And voila, let's get a close-up on this beauty right here. Ooh, look at that, huh? Huh? Looks beautiful. Restaurant quality. Now we gotta eat it. Okay, now we're gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes. Guess what? It's still blazing nuclear hot inside there. Oh, but I can't wait. Oh, so much steam. It's so beautiful. Ooh, can you see that at home? Oh, a cold winter's day, shoveling, stacking wood, skiing, to come home to something like this, wonderful. Gosh, this is awesome. It's really hot though, but and remember, guys, wow, but good. If you want this recipe, contact me at my email address, cookingwithcharles@gmail.com, or to watch this episode over and over again, Cooking with Charles M on YouTube, all one word. So, until next week, bon appetit, and thank you, Fabio, for this fabulous recipe for chicken pot pie. Till next week, folks. Too good. Too good. Too hot.